I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll start our meeting with a report from our county attorney, Matt Shipman.
Good morning, or good afternoon. The only thing I really have to report on is a little bit of an update on the status of trying to see if we could find local counsel, maybe down in Florida, to pursue the Intelligent thing. I'm not having great luck with that, but I'm not giving up. I got a couple more suggestions from people, so I'll try to update you again next month. At this point, I don't have something to bring to you our next meeting, but I'll keep plugging away at that, and I think that's really it at this point, unless you guys have questions for me.
No, I don't have it. On a deal like that, where do you even look?
Well, I always like to start with people I know, but I don't know a whole lot of lawyers in Miami, so on the internet, frankly, with kind of the right fit, and then make phone calls, and those lead to other phone calls, but
anyway, all right.
Yep. Okay, next on the agenda, we've got Deb Darr for the 2018 grants for Whitley County Transit.
We actually have the purchase order for the newest vehicle we will be receiving and the fourth quarter voucher.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, on the new bus,
Yeah.
Deb, and maybe it'll come out, but it looks like somebody needs to come up with $11,430.
Correct.
Is that us?
It's us.
That's you guys?
It's us.
I see. Okay. Okay.
Is that going to be an issue?
No. No.
Okay.
Okay, well, that's the main thing.
Yep. And our motion would be to allow the chairman to sign
Please.
the grant?
Yes.
Yeah, I make a motion that we allow the chairman to sign the purchase agreement, since the Whitley County Transit's going to pay the $11,430.
Okay, we've got a motion to allow the chair to sign the agreement for the motor vehicle purchase agreement.
Second.
Got a second? Further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same.
Great, thank you.
What do we do with the fourth? Let's sign that first. When do you expect to get the bus?
Fall.
Fall? Additional one, or are you retiring one?
We have to retire one.
Okay. What happens to that?
There is a deposition process that we have to go through. I send the information on the bus to the maker, and he gives us a fair market value. Then it goes through NDOT. It's a 30-day process for them to allow all the other councils on agings and their powers to bid on that vehicle.
Oh, good. So somebody could end up with it.
Oh,
Somebody
yes.
doesn't have one. Okay.
Yes.
Good. Okay.
Yeah. And then if there's nobody that purchases it through that system, then it's back to us and we dispose of it
Okay.
through sale or whatever.
Next we have is the voucher for the quarterly voucher for the transit also.
I make a motion we approve the fourth quarter voucher.
Second.
Got a motion to approve. We've got a second. Further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you
Deb.
very much.
Next on the agenda, we have Dan Weigold, a data request.
Good afternoon. Usually all the data requests handled through me is pretty much straightforward, but this is a kind of an unusual request because they're asking for the waiver of fees. We have an ordinance in place that dictates the price of our data. But this gentleman requests data. He's a graduate research assistant with the address of IU Public Policy Institute, 334 North 334 North Senate Avenue, Suite 300. He's requesting all of our drainage layers, which I always go through whenever there's a request for data like this. I go to the department head who maintains those layers, which in this case would be Brandon Forrester, and so I talked to him about this situation, and there are fees involved with this data, and the fees for this data would be approximately $6,920. According to, I have the email here that we've been communicating with this gentleman, and then he comes around and says, since this project is for Indiana University, we usually acquire fee waivers at the county's discretion. Well, I don't have the power to waive the fees. So, per ordinance, we're bringing it to the commissioners for advice on what to do with this, whether we supply the data to them for free, or we just maintain our ordinance and still charge them the requested fees. Basically, it'd be $6,920. So, looking for some direction as far as where to go with this.
I'm not sure I'm even comfortable with distributing it, even for $7,000 right now. My particular motion would be to table it until, I mean, this is the first we've heard about it.
Right.
So I don't want to make some knee-jerk reaction, so I'd at least like a month to think about it. I'd like to table it till the second meeting of.
Yeah, I kind of would like to ask our council, what is our rights to as for providing? I believe our ordinance covers it in our data sharing agreement that we have set in place. So we are allowed to charge for this data. I mean, we have a tremendous amount of money invested in our data, and that's why the data sharing agreement's in place. We in the past we have, with the cities and towns, we have granted some trade and data, but this one's is just a little different. I'm just a little questioning, who is this IU Public Policy Institute is my first question, and then they claim to be with IU. Well, if it's a student just doing research, that's one thing, but this seems to be, I don't know, it just seems to be a little strange in its request. That's why I brought it forward to you guys.
Brandon, as a department head, you got anything to say about this?
I'm concerned about how the data could be used because we admit these are underground tiles. I explained to the gentleman that I would be concerned about how that data could be misinterpreted.
Okay, we've got a motion to table.
I'm going to second that,
Got a second?
especially to have the attorney look it over, our counsel look it over, and is this legitimate? This address you gave is not a Bloomington address.
Exactly. That's why I brought that forward to you, is because it'd be different if it was to Bloomington. We do send some of our data per state for the state request to Bloomington, but it's just our parcel address points and street center lines, which goes into a massive database where everybody in the state participates in that. This This one just seems a little different. I guess that's why I didn't feel comfortable.
And I believe it's to be used in conjunction with the Clean Water Act,
Yes. Yeah, in
which
fact,
isn't exactly a great act in this country. And I'm like Brandon, what if they misconstrue it? It won't, they won't be blamed for it, we will be. So that's why I'd really like more time to think about it.
that's, I mean, we have our data online as far as where, our drains, but, he says that he cannot see them, so I don't know if he zoomed in far enough to where he can see them. I'm just have some, I don't know, there's some questions here that doesn't seem to fit.
Could you provide us with the emails also?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. We'll table this until the next meeting.
All right.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan. Nathan, one-lot subdivision.
Thank you. Since I'm here, you need this. For a one-lot subdivision, it's actually in the city's planning jurisdiction. However, because it's in the 2-mile jurisdiction and there is right-of-way being granted, dedicated, you guys do need to review it and accept that. That's a one-lot subdivision up on 150 North, on the west side of 109. City Plan Commission already approved it without question, and then as you can see there, City Board of Works has already signed off on it as well. And I believe you should have already had a
I'm
paper
trying to
copy.
read this map.
Oh, it's 2 pages.
Oh.
Sorry.
Look, that's better.
Here, I can just take the paper clip off here. Apologies.
Brandon, have you seen this map? It looks like it's showing 35-foot right away. Okay. Thank you. So we're simply approving because of the right-of-way, because it's not really in our jurisdiction.
Essentially, yeah. The Board of Works signs off on the easements that are being dedicated. You guys sign off because it's a county road.
Yeah.
And it's not been annexed. You sign off on the approval and acceptance of the dedication.
All right, Mr. Chairman, I move we approve this.
Got a motion to approve. We got a second. Discussion. Was it secondary plat approval then for the staff?
Yep.
Everything was approved? Okay. Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same.
Thank you. Must say, nice shirts, Don and Tom.
George didn't get the memo.
There's that, and that.
Anything else for me?
I don't think so. Thank you, Nathan. Next on the agenda, we have Debbie Beers for the 2018 primary election polling locations.
Good afternoon.
Hi, ma'am.
This is for you first. This is about having a polling location here at the courthouse, or at the government center. This is a list of the polling locations. I just need your approval with signatures, and then Tamala, it needs to be published, and then copies back to me once it's approved.
Have any of
Mary,
these
make
changed?
changes?
No changes have been made, and as of right now, I have not received any declinations. Nobody's declined, so far, so good.
Same as last time.
Yes.
Hearing that, I move we approve them.
We've got a motion to approve. Second. Got a second. Further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
And Tamla, if you could just put a copy in my box, it'd be great.
I will do that. Thank
Okay?
you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. Get a top page in. Okay, Brandon. Brandon Forrester is our highway superintendent and county engineer.
Thank you for hearing me today. I am here with Local Roads and Bridges Matching Grant Agreement. This is the Community Crossings Grant Agreement. This is phase 2 of our 2017 submission. By signing this, it gets the process going to the next step where we can receive another $195,000, give or take. We received $486,000, and the total of our award was $670,000. So this is for the work that we're doing, or part of the work that we're doing this year. It's a boilerplate agreement, and that puts it out, we sign it, they give us money. I've reviewed it.
I looked at it.
Matt's looked at it, so if you would so desire, it's got signature spots for the chairman and the auditor.
Make a motion to approve the grant agreement and allow the chairman to sign.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a second? Further discussions?
How far down the road's that money?
After we complete the work, then we'll have to submit that statement that the work's been complete. They have the opportunity to review and make sure the work was completed as presented. They issue a PO, and it has to go through the stages down at the state. I want to say for the first phase, after we got them everything, it probably took about a month and a half or so. But it's money that we've already spent. It's reimbursement, basically.
Okay. Further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you, Brandon.
And they need the original, that's why there's only one copy. Executed, I think it has to go to the AG. They'll get us fully executed copies. Oh, did you sign that blue?
No.
Sorry. Start over.
Grant.
Sorry.
Blue grant. I think the state of Indiana is the only one that requires it.
They got something about blue.
Yeah. Yep. Any
Township
EMA,
stuff?
anything. I don't know. Any state grant, gotta be signed in blue. There's probably a blue pin in your drawer. Usually is.
Just one place?
You and that family could attest to that.
I had my blue pen here, too.
Then real quick, we are still looking into options for salt and storage. Just
What is the current salt situation? Both.
We have enough for the week.
Yeah.
Sounds like looks like we're good this week.
We're good this year. No, we probably got about 150 to 200 tons.
I meant that, but also, is there any available if we run out? For a price. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Price.
Got
It's
it.
kind of out of ink.
I think we really need that. We need this salt building real bad.
For multiple reasons.
What,
I'm looking at between 1,000 to 1,500 ton capacity, so that we can stock it in the summer. It's like buying propane in the summer.
Sure it
You don't
is.
buy propane in the dead of winter. You're gonna pay for it.
All right.
And so then we have, and what they recommend is that you have a year's supply on hand. Of course that's tough to predict, but
What would be a normal supply, your supply for us?
it depends on whether you're looking,
An average.
10 years ago or this year. We put down more salt this year than probably the previous 5 combined.
And still mix some sand.
Yeah.
what's the deal with the wood?
The timber
Yeah.
salt building. Well, our other options are that we are looking at. You can build a concrete wall out of precast block or a cast in place wall and put a steel frame structure with a tarp over it. Before much research, I wasn't too in favor of that. We put a new pool cover on every year because tarps get punctured. But we've done some research, and at least one company gives you a 20-year warranty. Now, I haven't looked into, is that a limited liability warranty, a floating
Yeah,
warranty,
but-
how that could go.
What kind of wood? I don't understand the wood situation.
It's treated. It's
Yeah.
treated timber. The columns on the walls are 4 by 14 rough sawn, and the interior walls are lined with 2 or 3 by 12 treated. You can get.
So that makes them just almost cost prohibitive.
Well, I haven't gotten solid quotes. I want to, get my facts together as well as possible before I come and ask for money. I asked for a off the cuff and was told $300,000, and that's material and installation. We're just early in the research on the other option with the tarps, and they make steel, Quonset huts that, but that's the good thing about timber is it doesn't rust. I mean, it still will decay, but it is treated with some copper naphthenate or something that,
Brandon, could you check with the bridge company that provides wooden bridges? Is that?
I'm meeting with one of the representatives later this week to talk about.
When I think about that, I think of
Yeah.
the timber that they use.
And I actually acquired a copy of a set of plans for a salt building that was put up in Allen County to get a feel for how to put it together. And it's not just the pole barn. I mean, it's timbers, 4-inch by 14, spaced every 4 foot. You've got your building footer, and then there's knee braces that brace the walls, and you've got a separate footer for those. It's all the holes, because it's treated and you don't want it to split. All the holes have to be pre-drilled, whether they're even just for 16-penny nails. So it's not something that just anybody off the street's going to come slap you up a pole building.
These are the ones that are sort of teepee-like looking?
No.
No, okay.
You're talking like the NDOT domes.
I guess that's where I've seen them, yeah.
Yeah. No, these are, everything's treated below the trusses, and
Yep.
you've got regular trusses, Of
see.
course, it's going to depend on the height, the length, and the width.
I mean, the domes aren't that good then?
I haven't looked into the domes. I would guess if NDOT's doing it, we can't afford it. Be my. And they also have special equipment that allows them to stack it as high as they do.
Yeah.
We've talked about that. With the loader, we use a loader. We don't have any stacking devices at this point in time, and we can stack it about 12 feet, easily with our loader. So.
Is that something that we'd be better with an auger, some kind of an auger with that?
Well, we talked about that, but it'd be something more you'd have to buy and maintain.
That salt isn't easy on
Probably
anything.
wouldn't like salt very well, I don't suppose.
Probably not. Now, I'm told that there are stainless augers that are used for fertilizer and,
Most of that fertilizer stuff's belts,
belts, yeah.
Is it?
Okay, so.
but they're stainless, but they're belts.
What we're looking at is getting a structure that's big enough that you can drive into. And,
Yep.
and we're throwing around the idea of having it open on both ends, so we can put treated salt on one end and then put the concrete barriers somewhere and have untreated salt on the other end. And
By drive into, you're talking about literally drive the truck in and drive the loader in and do everything under the roof?
well, we'd probably just do it with the loader. I mean, I don't think we're going to
So
build
you
it.
have to go back outside?
We're not going to
No.
build it tall enough to put
Okay.
a dump truck in there.
Okay, okay,
But
okay.
you could. I mean, you could.
Yeah.
But we'll keep working on that. This is,
Thank you.
For really probably later in the fall as far as construction. But I want to
Yeah, but
get,
that misses your summertime purchasing.
well, you just signed another agreement to get another close to $200,000 for work that we did last year. Or, I'm sorry, that was for work we'll do this year, but, thanks to our state legislators, they recognized and were presented with years of data that our county roads and local roads, city, town, we need help. And you can't build or maintain roads without money, and they have given us, through the gas tax, a significant increase in revenue, and we've just started seeing that full effect back in October. So, and then throw the community crossings money on top of that, and I'm confident we can afford to get a salt building, which we need not only for salt, but we're also purchasing other new equipment that we need to maintain roads. And without the new equipment, we've already have equipment that's sitting outside because we don't have any place to put it. So there's multiple reasons. We're early in the process. Want everybody to be aware of what we're looking at, and certainly if there's any questions or somebody has a good idea, we're listening. But we'll continue to do our research and get what we think are the appropriate facts, and we'll come back to you guys with our plan. We'll go to the council and ask for whatever extra money we think we need, and then we'll go for bids.
Any major issues with all the plowing, snow work?
Nothing. We haven't had any major issues. New Year's Day or Christmas Day, that was kind of a blur of a week, but we had 3 trucks and a loader in the garage being worked on, but we got a good group of guys. They got through it, and nothing tremendously, ridiculously expensive. Not like that summer or that winter about 3 or 4 years ago. I think they had about 3 blown motors,
Engines,
maybe.
yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nothing like that this year. So.
Good.
But you do have a good staff, there's no doubt about it.
Yep.
And Beth's right in there.
Well, she's
I
part
want
of
to say the
staff,
guys,
and-
because Beth is,
Yep.
she's superb at what she does.
Yep.
And the guys have done a marvelous job this year, I think, just marvelous.
If you would, let them know that we appreciate all that they're doing.
I will, definitely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brandon.
Yep, we'll see ya.
Okay, everyone had a chance to take a look at the minutes?
Yes, sir, and I don't see any issues, therefore I move we approve them for February 5th meeting.
Second that. Got a motion to approve the February 5th minutes. We've got a second. Further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you. I think Don's had a chance to take a look at the claims.
I did, sir, and they were voluminous, to say the least, but I just didn't find any problems with them. So I would start out with motion to approve the payroll claims.
Okay, we've got a motion to approve the payroll claims. Second. Got a second. Further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same.
And then I would move that we accept the claims as presented.
And we've got a motion to accept the claims as presented.
Second.
Got a second? Further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
So two on that one. Oh, you got another one?
Yeah.
Okay. Seven. Okay.
Okay. Angie, do you have anything for us? Matt, anything further?
Not at this point.
Tamala?
Nope,
No right-of-way permits or
no
anything?
right-of-way permits or nothing, thank you.
No. Tom?
No, nothing further.
Don?
Nothing.
Okay, I've got a few things here. Number one, we came up with a CETA plan for 2018. Wanted to make sure that everyone was comfortable with the plan. The only additions, I do have some amendments to that right now, is we approved the $40,000, up to $45,000 for the PER package for the regional sewer district, and that will be paid back when they can. And then the other thing was,
Well, on my recommendation of that is to take it out of on-site, off-site, and not make it a separate project, because
great,
especially the fact that that'll be paid back when all the grants and loans are in. There's just no sense making another project out of it. We, quite frankly, rarely ever spend all the money in on-site, off-site. So that's my recommendation on that one.
okay. Tom, you okay with that then?
I'm fine with it, yeah.
Okay, then the other thing was, we've got some issues that I think we all know about with the maintenance of, facilities maintenance. There were a few things that I'd like to make us aware of. Sanitary lines in the jail are probably going to be something that we're really going to have to look at and possibly look at it out of seated. That's $90,000. And that outdoor rec area, we've talked to Mark Sturdivant, that said that we really need, those two items should be taken care of, and the outdoor rec areas is $11,475. The other one was chimney masonry restoration. That's marked as urgent, needs to be done as soon as possible. That's another $70,879. North sidewalk is getting to be an issue. We've already had somebody fall on the sidewalk. So we've got the north and the south sidewalk, and that's approximately $70,600. And possibly a generator for community corrections at $64,000. The issue there is, what are we going to do? We've been very fortunate that, you know, if when the electricity goes out, that we haven't had to remove the participants there.
Well, we have to find some place for them to go, and that would be jail.
Yeah, and we don't have any place in
jail.
jail. So we really need, those are the ones we seriously need to look at, so I would present that to you to consider.
Have you got a total figure on that package of?
I think it was right around
repairs?
$225,000 is what we're looking at there. Which would take us real close to our 75%.
Yeah, but not over it.
Right.
So,
Right.
that's, you know, that's
Well, and
great.
Mark has moved those
Yeah,
things that you mentioned to the top of the list.
yeah. And that's something we just can't,
Okay. Chimney at the courthouse, right?
yeah, it'd be the courthouse with the chimney restoration. There's
Would
8
that
different
be-
ones there.
Would that be Atlas again?
I'm sure it would be.
Okay. And the third one? I got generator.
The north and the south sidewalk at the courthouse. Did you get that one?
Oh, but add them together, that's
Yeah,
70,600.
70,600.
Okay, at the jail, the chiller in process, so now, is that,
That's done, completed.
so we had the money for that? That's not really part
Yeah,
of this
that was
package?
2017 monies.
That's what I thought, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd make a motion that we, since we have the money in seated and it does not exceed 75%, that we approve the generator at the community corrections, chimney restoration at the courthouse, and the north and south sidewalks at the courthouse.
What about the drains at the jail, he mentioned?
Yeah, that would be number 1 up here. Down
Sanitary lines?
Yeah,
Sanitary lines?
yeah, that's a $90,000.
And your response, the amount, did that include that?
I'm not sure it
Okay.
included the generator.
Hang on a minute, let me get this now. 60.
It might not include the generator, his figures.
I think that generator's kind of important, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Could save us a lot of grief.
Yeah, we've been very lucky. So we're maybe 270, 280 is it?
1320. I honestly and truly
295.
cannot trust my,
What'd you come up with,
trust my, yeah, but
295?
I can't.
That'd be about right with the generator, because I didn't have the generator on there.
Oh, okay.
And we have,
Well, I guess I'd push fairly hard for that generator.
yeah,
Simply because if the power goes out, we have a whole bunch of people we can't do anything with.
and up to our 75% We've got $394,331.05.
Yeah, we're still $100,000 shy.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just check myself here. 90.
And that's paying off that.
Here's a news flash. Look at there.
Pretty good.
Right. Okay, 295, 479. If I need to amend my motion, I'll amend it to include the generator, the chimney restoration, the sidewalks, and the sanitary lines at the jail for a total of 295, 479, which will leave us 100,000 shy of 75%.
You put that in as another item.
Yep.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion, we've got a second. Further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you. Now, what I'll do is then I'll revise the CETA plan and present it to council our next meeting.
First meeting in March, right?
March, yeah.
We're good. Okay. Yep, sounds good.
Okay, I think that's all I had. Anything from the public? Motion to adjourn. Second?
Second.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. Thank you, everyone.